Just before I get into the next and final section, I just wanted to redo my hats because I wasn't totally loving the pattern. I wanted something more simple, and I realized that had a lot to do with the controller and how I'd set it up. So I've gone in and deleted my old hi-hats. We were achieving our pattern by mapping a knob on the controller to the arpeggiator rate. So what I'm going to do is go into the mapping mode again and just kind of change the min-max range here to kind of make the controller easy to use. So I decided that the minimum or the maximum I would like is 16th notes, and maybe the minimum I want is just 16th note triplets. So maybe that. So let's see how that sounds now. If I play, and that's great. A lot harder to stuff that up. So I'm going to session record mode and play. This track or this clip is recording. Here we go. Much better. Way more calm. Great. I just wanted to highlight that. So that was going into the MIDI mapping mode and changing the range here. That is an option for you. And I'll just duplicate that. And now I've got one. Delete those hats. So one with hats. And this one here. And one without. Cool. All right. So I wanted to talk about sampling some other audio because our hip hop beat needs a beat, but also needs some texture to go with it. And what better to use to replace the old vinyl crates and records than YouTube? So I've gone ahead and found a nice track on YouTube. Bill Evans, one of my favorite piano players. So I found an instrumental or piano solo track of his. You could use anything. You could use crowd noise. You could use any music, but something makes sense. Something with like less drums and more textural might be easier to use here. And then I've gone into Loopback, and on my Loopback device, I'm just going to add Chrome, which is my web browser, as an audio source. There it is. So now when I play the video, you can see it's going here into my Loopback. And then in Live Preferences, I'm just going to select Loopback as the audio input. Here we go, Loopback. I might need to, oh no, there it is, audio in. Let's see how this goes. I did rename, so, oh no, there it is, beautiful. So I'm going to take this audio track, set to auto, set to record. There it is, left and right. I'm just going to record some stuff. Stop the drum loop. There we go. Stop it. Heaps. Could go on forever. But now, in this audio clip, what do I have? If I play. Almost too much good stuff. Let's take this first one. Just because I don't want to give myself too many options, I'm going to halve it. Duplicate this. Back on this first one, we can crop it like we did with our drums. So now we've just got... Oh. Even that as a loop on its own. But let's see what happens if we slice this to a new MIDI track. Do we want to preserve the warping? Yeah, let's leave it on this time. See what happens. So now we have this one here. This is piano sample 1. And if we just... There we go. There it is. Beautiful. Again, just turn your loop length down. if you right click on these, if you're finding they're a bit quiet, right click in the simpler on the waveform and press normalize. And annoyingly, you might need to do that for all your slices. Or you might not want to. You might put them out of range with each other. Now, if some of them are a little bit short, maybe live was a little bit too judicious about where they're going to slice it. We could look at another option. Instead of this piano sample here, if we delete it, go back to this this clip and have a look at it and just see where the chords are. Okay, so this is definitely an individual note. Da, da. So what we can do is put warp markers or markers where they have Ableton has suggested those. And I'd want one there on that chord. Now, even though Live hasn't put a marker there, we just put one in there. Then, of all of those, that seems to be the right one. So I'm going to double click there. So we should... There. Ooh, that one. And what we're doing by putting these markers in, when I go to slice this now, slice new MIDI track, instead of doing create one slice per transient, I'm going to do per warp marker. And now we should just have slices on those warp markers. And then again, turn off that loop. And if we see what's going on with that one just got kind of sliced off, but let's just move that out and fix up the end of that. Drag that all the way to the end. There we go. Because I want that chord. Oh, yeah. Cool. Again, if I don't want to have to slam my MPD, I can just put that in there. This is too much fun. Okay, so before I record something with this, let's just have a listen to it again. And if you don't like the way some of the samples chop off, you can kind of fix that. And you move the start and end points just a little bit. Cool. There we go, just to remove any clicks that I don't like. And let's record. Oh, before I record, I might actually try normalizing these and see what happens. So normalize the first one, normalize that one. So the volumes might jump around a little bit on each sample, but let's just see what it does for us. Cool, that sounds like a nice pattern. Here we go. Let's start off the beat, have a bit of practice. Yeah, those two pads sound nice together. Here we go. Cool. Just cut that down to 8 bars. Oh, yep. Now again, we can play with the quantize a little bit. Try 50%. Yeah. Oh, maybe this is like maybe I do want a more rigid kind of feel on this. So I'm just going to up that up to 100. Take it back. Awesome. And you could add that in. Well, let's add a bass into the last part. Here we go. See you in the next video.